Hello, and this is Costa Craft Productions, and I'll be showing you my top 5 B&M Stand Up Coasters. First one, Vortex. Yeah, this is at my home park at California's Great America. It's gonna be a floorless coaster soon, but it's a stand up coaster right now. So if you're watching this in the future, then basically it's already a stand up, it's already a floorless now. So it was a stand up coaster back in the day before it closed. So if you're watching this in the future, I'm telling you now that it's now a floorless coaster. But right now, but back then, which I'm recording this video, it's a stand-up coaster. Here, the next one, my next favorite stand-up is a B&M compact. Another one is called Georgia Scorcher. Nothing much, but look at these colors. It looks stand out now. But nothing good. It's just a loop and a corkscrew. It's just a two inversion. It's one of the last coasters that B&M had built right now. They're still in production, so don't worry if you are a stand-up coaster fan. Um, you could still they're still making the B&M stand-up coasters. They hadn't built any since this ride. The next one is Apocalypse at Six Flags America. Another two inversion coaster, another loop and corkscrew stand-up coaster. I like its color scheme. That's what's made it number three. And yeah, basically, I do like the color scheme. It's beautiful, and it's of course the first B&M built stand-up coaster. Don't count Shockwave or any other coasters that look like B&M, or those are not B&Ms. Like the Shockwave over there at Drayton Manor, the Cobra at La Ronde, but that's not a B&M. It looks like a B&M track, but it was built by Intamin. But they at the time it was B&M was working with B&M, but B&M was like a little young company back in the day. This is the first roller coaster that B&M came up with. The next one being the Green Lantern. It's a relocation from the former Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom. It replaces my favorite loop coaster, Great American Scream Machine, R.I.P. Scream Machine. But it stands out. It really does. It's a smoother stand-up coaster. It used to be called Chang at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, but I'm glad that Six Flags Great Adventure got a stand-up coaster because that's what they need. And there it is again. This is a stand-up coaster, and there's Superman right next to it. But we're focusing on stand-up coasters. This is a 5 inversion. It has a loop, a dive loop, and then incline loop, which counts as an inversion, and then two corkscrews. The next one is being my home park at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is my second. This is 6 hours away from where I live. 6 hours away. My closest one is Discovery Kingdom, but this is Magic Mountain. It has 6 inversions, the most inversions on a stand-up. This one has a loop, two dive loops, an incline looped, and two corkscrews. This was my first non-Disney roller coaster, my first generic amusement park roller coaster, and my first multi-inversion roller coaster, and my first roller coaster I ridden at Magic Mountain. And that's why I made it number one, The Riddler's Revenge. Because Riddler's Revenge had motivated me to ride all the roller coasters at Magic Mountain. Riddler's Revenge is so special. I rode this one as my first one, and indeed is my first roller coaster that I ridden at Magic Mountain. My first roller coaster to have a multi-inversion. Disneyland doesn't count, so I don't count it as my first coaster. It's Disney. My first roller coaster on a generic amusement park is Riddler's Revenge, so I consider that my first roller coaster. Even though I rode in California Screaming at Disneyland, I don't consider it because I'm not a Disney fan. And number two, I don't feel like I'm riding an actual roller coaster. Since it just launches up. I mean, roller coasters that start up with a lift hill and not a launch and then a lift hill and a loop, and that's about it. and it looks like a woody coaster. I don't count that as a roller coaster. I count that as a ride. But don't get me wrong, but this is my first roller coaster I've ridden. My first adult roller coaster I have ridden. And my first B&M stand up coaster. My first B&M roller coaster I've ridden. This is Coaster Crab Productions, and I am out.